Hello, welcome back everybody. Over the last week or so, we've got a lot of fodder for me to have vlogs about. There's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of ideas circulating. So we want to go ahead and maybe try and clarify our thinking about some of these topics. Of course, we've had a leak just recently for the Roe v. Wade decision possibly being overturned by the Supreme Court. As I always do when I'm talking about abortion, I want to start off by saying I don't blame women who have abortions. I feel like those women are victims. Most women who have abortions are in a state where they're confused, they're scared, they don't really have a sound mind to be making decisions. And even if they do have a sound mind, they're being coerced and told a lot of incorrect ideas that they're basing these decisions on. So they don't fully understand what they're doing until it's too late. So one of the things I want to say is that if you've had an abortion and you don't know how to cope with that, I'm not trying to attack you. What I'm trying to say is that Jesus Christ loves you. There's nothing you can do that he can't forgive. And when God forgives something, it is completely forgiven. He says he forgives it and then he forgets it. Okay? In his eyes, it's like it never happened. And whose eyes matter but his? He is the supreme authority, the creator of all. He is reality. He is truth. He is life. Okay? There's nothing you can do that he can't forgive and erase from your history. Okay? And there's nothing he can't heal either. All right, with that being said, today we're going to be answering the question, is this recent court decision that's going to possibly cause Roe to topple an attack on women? So the first thing I want to go ahead and throw out there right off the beginning is that a lot of people that are saying this, they're trying to confuse the issue, they're trying to complicate things, they're trying to draw attention away from the real crux of the argument. One of the things they're trying to do is say that this is an attack on women, but many of the people that are saying this also hold the official stance that a trans man is a man, and now you have pregnant men. If you hold this worldview, then there is no logical way that you can make this ad hominem fallacy. It is an ad hominem fallacy. You're not taking the real argument that's presented by pro-lifers. Instead, you're setting up a villain that you can distract from the real crux of the argument. Okay. The point is, if you believe that men can get pregnant, so now we have birthing persons, according to some, then you can't also hold to the claim that this is an attack on women. Now, one objection you might raise to this that I hear a lot of people say is that, well, when people say trans men are men and trans women are women, they don't really mean it. They're just trying not to hurt these people's feelings. Let me tell you something. They do, in fact, mean it. There's legislation being passed all over the world right now where if you say you are a woman and you've been convicted of a crime, you get sent to women's prison. And there are women getting raped all the time, getting impregnated, having to have abortions. Sometimes they're having consensual sex, we're told. Sometimes it's rape. How will you ever really know when these government institutions are telling you this? Also, to bring up, the Me Too kind of argument here, can a woman really have consent when she's locked in a cell with someone who's physically stronger than her? Is there real consent there? So either way, they're letting men go to women's prison. They're letting men into the bathrooms with girls. They're letting guys into the changing rooms with female athletes. This is not just to not hurt their feelings. This has real world implications. The second thing I want to talk about is, where do our rights come from? If you think your rights are based on God, which is the foundation of our Constitution, is that these are God-given rights, do you honestly think that you have a God-given right to end the life of your child? And I think anybody who isn't arguing in bad faith knows that this is untrue. If you think your rights come from the government and they're just a made-up construct, then how dare you get upset whenever the government changes them? It has every right and every authority to do that. You could say, well, the court's circumventing the will of the people. No, it's not, because these justices were appointed by people who were elected. So maybe read about a candidate before you vote on them instead of just listening to what talking heads say on TV. See what they actually believe. Don't vote for people who are going to put originalists on the Supreme Court if you don't believe in that. Finally, one of the arguments for circumventing the rights of the people is that these polls that show that a majority of the country thinks that Roe shouldn't be overturned. Well, also, a majority of the country really doesn't understand Roe. And you can tell that because a majority of the country also is for abortion bans. So how are you going to let Roe stand and also ban abortions? It just goes to show you the people who are taking these polls don't really understand the issues, and that's because politicians deliberately confuse the issues so that you can't understand what's going on. Okay, just like Joe Biden this week talking about transgender kids getting banned from classrooms or something like that, which is absurd. He's just once again making an ad hominem attack and a straw man. He's making a wicked villain that he can just topple over real easy. You've had people say that they're going to ban interracial marriage. None of these things have anything to do with this. They're just scared that you're going to look at the abortion issue and figure out for yourself what is really happening. Okay? In another video, we talk about the constitutional right to abortion and we kind of thwart it. But I'll just say this once again really quickly. You can look into this yourself, or you can watch my video and then look into it yourself. But the constitutional decision for Roe v. Wade was based on the right to privacy, because the right to abortion or anything like it's not found in the Constitution. So the ruling was justified by this right to privacy, which is also not in the Constitution. So this is an unconstitutional ruling that should be, in fact, struck down. Whether you like it or you don't like it, this ruling should go according to our laws. Finally, this isn't even, this is so-called an attack on women because they're saying that this is going to ban women from having abortions. That is not what this is doing at all. Okay, for what this is doing is that it's taking a made-up power that the government gave itself and putting it back in the hands of local governments. If Roe v. Wade is overturned, then each local government will have to decide now what to do with abortion. So it's not even banning abortion like many critics who I believe some of them may be ignorant to this fact. They may not know, but I think many of them know, but they also, like I said, know that they have no leg to stand on when it comes to arguing for abortion, because all the arguments are incoherent. And if you start talking about it long enough, just how appalling and disgusting their arguments are quickly shines through. They want to use smoke and mirrors to redirect this as fast as they can. Okay, so I think that is thoroughly refuted. I think we can safely say that the answer is no, this is not an attack on women. No pro-lifer I know of has any concern whatsoever about what women do with their bodies. We're concerned about the life of the child. And I'll just go ahead and throw this out there. Many of the people who are aborted are females. So how is this an attack on women? We're just concerned about a human life. All human lives have value and dignity. And when Roe v. Wade, if it's overturned, then that just puts the power back in your hands at a local level. You should be glad it's overturned because it's faithful to the Constitution, and it takes power away from people who are not local to you, who do not know your way of life. And it puts power back in the hands of you directly in your local area. Okay, so that'll wrap this up. Thank you guys for listening. I will see you all next time. I've got plenty more coming because we got a lot of juicy arguments being thrown around about this topic. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing.